Pete Davidson and Amandla Stenberg in Bodies Bodies. Film Review, SXSW 2022. In Halina Rein's subsequent component, a gathering of affluent companions set up a party with lethal results. The companion bunch at the focal point of Halina Rein's hair-raising component Bodies Bodies is a harmful bundle. They, obviously, would eagerly dismiss that portrayal. So strongly drawn are these characters that I can hear them now. David, Pete Davidson, the unendingly coked-out companion, could be protective. What do you mean by poisonous? Did you get that off Twitter? His sweetheart, Emma, Chase Sway wonders, who can't go 30 seconds without reminding everybody she's an entertainer, would give an amendment. I'm not poisonous, I'm an empath. Alice, Rachel Sennott, the honestly sensational one, may more comprehend. I mean, we have done harmful things. Jordan, Myha'la Herrold, the sort A one who characterizes herself by her disparities from her companions, would feign exacerbation. Sophie, Amandla Stenberg, a recuperating fiend and the most awful at staying aware of the gathering talk, would grin bashfully, on the off chance that she even responded by any means. Their protestations wouldn't make the case less evident. These well-off youthful grown-ups, fastened to one another by shared history more than whatever else, are bad to themselves, let alone to one another. That much turns out to be clear when they assemble at David's remote getaway house just before a gauge storm. What should be a riotous, bacchanalian escape rapidly transforms into an alarming setting against which Reijn conducts a keen investigation of root-bound fellowships, hyper-independence and disloyalty in the computerized age. Bodies Bodies is the Dutch entertainer's second executive component. Her presentation, Instinct, 2019, chronicled an unlawful connection between an advisor and the detained sex wrongdoer to whom she has been doled out. That film, which proceeded to be the 2020 Oscar accommodation for the Netherlands, flagged Rein's advantage in leading demanding mental person studies. She supports those preferences in Bodies Bodies, which is certainly not a conventional slasher spine chiller. Reijn turns the class on its head, involving its lethal stakes and sayings for the purpose of figuring out the cutoff points and outcomes of these characters' inner selves. The genuine danger is their massive way of behaving. It would be not difficult to see this A24 discharge as a shallow piercing of more youthful recent college grads and individuals from General Z, in spite of the fact that Bodies Bodies enjoys a fair number of pokes at a sort of persistently online 20-something. It clarifies endeavors to stay away from loftiness. Sarah Delappe, whose play The Wolves was a Pulitzer finalist in 2017, has written a screenplay, in view of a story by feline person, writer Kristen Roupenian, that, for the entirety of its consistency, exhibits an aversion to the difficulties heated into the silliness of one's mid-twenties. The characters may be not difficult to detest due to the shallow ways they project their tensions, yet that doesn't make what in a general sense inconveniences them any less genuine. Bodies Bodies opens with Stenberg's Sophie making out with her new sweetheart, B. Maria Bakalova of Borat's subsequent movie film. According to their hot second takes a wistful turn when Sophie, I love you. Her admission is met with quiet, and the film slices to the two sweethearts in a vehicle. They are heading to David's home for this party and B, a saved individual whose average foundation contrasts from Sophie and her companions' more well-off ones, is anxious. Sophie's endeavors to loosen up her varieties of, just relax, everybody will adore you, aren't consoling. Whenever the pair shows up at the palatial home, encompassed by sections of land of verdant backwoods, they head to the pool, where Sophie's companions are directing a breath-holding challenge. The scene is perhaps the most striking in Bodies, displaying DP Jasper Wolf's arousing camerawork. We see Jordan, Alice, Emma, David and Alice's 40-year-old darling whom she met on Tinder, Greg, Lee Pace, suspended in the water, their bodies drifting against a finished Celadon blue foundation, before they each leisurely arise to welcome Sophie and B. Scenes that lay out the particularly millennial, General Z milieu and each character's job in the companion bunch follow. David and Emma's relationship is scarred by an absence of genuineness and a hindered sexual coexistence. Jordan harbors animus toward Sophie of the sort saved for the individuals who have misused our hearts. Clearly everybody sort of abhors Alice, a digital recording host equivalent parts thoughtful to everyone around her and absent to her environmental factors. Greg, her beau, simply appears there for a great time frame. The tempest begins not long after Sophie and B show up, driving the team to withdraw inside. They open up a container of champagne, forcefully down shots and grunt lines of coke. Sophie, whose new vanishing is ascribed to a spell in recovery, doesn't partake. While assimilating loses its appeal, the gathering choose to play their number one game, a turned form of mafia that frequently prompts difficult admissions and tears, for the most part from Emma, the empathic entertainer. In their variant of the game, one player is assigned executioner and the others stow away from them. Once a murder is carried out, the player who observes the body should shout, "Bodies, bodies, bodies." All the players meet in decision on the thought executioner. The first round prompts a whirlwind of allegations and affirmations that leave David irate and Emma in tears. Before long, a throat has been cut, the passing setting off a suspicious and perilous chain of occasions. Devotees of the class could battle to completely purchase Bodies slasher interest. However, denying the strength of the performances would be troublesome. Sennott, who played Danielle in Emma Selleman's deftly claustrophobic Shiva Baby, stands apart with her exact comedic timing and chilling sensational turns. Herrold and Stenberg stand their ground, as well, as they skillfully explore their characters' naughty relationship through non-verbal communication and taken looks. Reijn enjoys a few longer takes that offer the entertainers a chance to penetrate into the subtleties of their characters and add a touch of edge to the frightfulness scenes. That, combined with the anxious iPhone lighting, the power goes out right away, makes portions of Bodies acceptably terrifying. These subtleties likewise support the film when its screenplay demonstrates a piece flimsy. Simple snickers are scored with a clever exchange and jokes featuring web represent, model, the abuse and straightening of clinical terms, yet it's hard not to jump at a few silly and sentiment lines that don't support character advancement or plot. Bodies doesn't have an authority delivery date yet, however would most likely make an extraordinary summer flick. In light of the Thundering Group at its South by Southwest debut, its extensive diversion esteem is additionally expanded in the organization of others.